Thanks for watching. I'm Prerna Agarwal, Technical Product Owner for The Guardian. Today we'll be giving you Guardian updates of Sprint 27, which lasted from November 29 to December 9. So just a quick overview of the agenda. We'll be talking about the Guardian roadmap. We're also talking about the issues that we tackled in Sprint 27 that lasted from November 29 to December 9. Then we'll be flipping over and giving you a short demo on Sprint 27. We'll also be talking about week of December 12th, which is Sprint 28. We'll be talking about the issues that we'll be going to tackle in Sprint 28. We are going to talk about the upcoming releases, and we'll be giving you some of the ways that you can either submit your bugs or policy requests through various different channels. So just a quick overview of the Guardian roadmap. Again, this is open source. Anyone can see that. All you need to do is install Github extension in Chrome. And when you travel to the Guardian GitHub repo, you will be able to see a tab to quickly open that up and see what's going on there. So as you can see, we are still continuing on working on MVP projects. We are working on the third-party content providers. We are also working on the retirement process for assets MVP. And in addition to this, we are also working on some of the bugs which are reported by the community. So now let's talk about the issues that we tackled in Sprint 27. So in Sprint 27, we committed to 67 story points, and then we delivered 59 story points, which include some of the bugs and some of the feature requests, and also some of the more important issues, something like 1473, 1548, and some of the bugs were including 1121, 1309, 1550, 1525, and we have also updated our SDK to version 2.1.9, 2.19.0, which is 1549 ticket. Now let's look at the demo of Sprint 27. So the first ticket what we'll be looking at is 1473, which is use local IPFS node as default and let developers configure external pinning services as a secondary option. So as already discussed in tickets 1045 and 1112, the typical scenario for IPFS is using a local node for development. Guardian currently uses a fixed IPFS pinning service, which is web3.storage for every put operation. The registration of an account on the web3 storage is also needed, even when running a local development environment. So this behavior binds the developer to a fixed external service that cannot be easily changed, forces to be online and connected to internet, and exposes the development activities to these services because of the services by external services. So in order to solve this, now we have an option to actually configure your local IPFS node. So here you can see we have updated our documentation. Now you can reach out and look at our documentation at docs.hedera.com/guardian/installation. Here, as you can see, we have added a third 3.1 section where you have two options of setting up the IPFS node. One is your local node, and one is the current IPFS Web3 storage node. So in order to configure your local node, you need to install and configure any of your IPFS nodes. So we have just given a small example for the IPFS local node. Once you install this, you need to make some changes in your code, which is you need to go to our web server worker service/.env or worker service/.env.docker if you are using Docker for setting up the Guardian. In that particular file, you need to make changes in the three parameters, which is IPFS_node_address. You need to keep your IPFS node address. By default, you will be having localhost :5002. In addition to that, we need to also make a change in the IPFS public gateway. You need to change the gateway to your respective IPFS public gateway. By default, your gateway would be localhost 8080/IPFS/CID. And the third parameter would be IPFS_provider, which would be local as you are setting up the IPFS in your local. Now, in addition, there are another option where you can set up the local node. If you just continue to use a Web3 storage node, you need to just again make some change in the worker service in the /.env if you are using complete setup, or env.docker if you are using a Docker. So in that case, you need to just make some changes in the two parameters where you have IPFS storage API key, where you get this API key from the Web3 storage logging. And then you need to make the IPFS underscore provider as Web3 storage. We have also already given a short demo on how to generate Web3 storage API key in our documentation, where you can get this API key and you can enter that in this particular code. So looking at the visual code, here I have .env.docker as I am using Docker for my setting of the Guardian. So as you can see, I am using Docker and I'm using Web3 storage IPFS. So my IPFS provider would be Web3 storage. And then I will be entering my storage API key. I'll be copy pasting from my Web3 storage account and will be pasting it over here. And I did not do any other change, but if you want to use a local node, you need to make this Web3 storage as a local, as you can see, and then the rest is public gateway and the node address would be same. So that would be a quick demo on the ticket 1473. Now looking ahead on the next ticket, which is 1548, changing the Explorer URL. Currently, we have a Dragon Glass URL Explorer being integrated, which is external, and UI is not user-friendly than compared to the other Explorers for mainly ESG market. So in order to solve this, we have changed our Explorer URL from Dragon Glass to LedgerWorks. To make that change, we have also again added a new documentation in our documentation, which is how to change Explorer URL under installation guide. Here you have a step-by-step procedure of how to change the URL to LedgerWorks, or if you want to still continue your Explorer pointing to Dragon Glass, you can still do that following our documentation and the screenshots what we have added. The third and the last ticket, what we'll be looking at is 786, which is developer level UI automation test. So basically we have performed a UI automation test using Cypress. So to get a step-by-step procedure of how to do an automation test on the UI of Guardian, you need to follow each and every step in this documentation. Like for example, you need to run npm run UI only to run all the automation tests interactive mode, and then you can click on E2E testing, as you can see, and then follow. Once you follow, you get all the automation test and the result, and then can see if everything is working, or if there are any issues, please feel free to reach out to us on hedera.com/guardian, or please reach out to us on ZenHub or GitHub and we will help you out. Now looking ahead of week of December 12th, which is sprint 28, currently we are committing 63 story points, which will include 1014 MVP projects, 1525 user balance. This is a bug which was created by a community member. We'll also be looking at we will also be working on the Guardian API and demo UI to retire tokens, and so on and so forth. So talking about the releases, our last release was on Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. Our next release will be on Friday, December 28, 2022. So there are multiple ways to reach out to us. You can reach out to us on GitHub. You can submit policy requests, enhancements, or if you find some bugs, please go ahead and mention those bugs with us so that we can get our team on that. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord, come and join our conversation at hedera.com/Discord. And when you get there, search for sustainability channel, or feel free to reach out to us directly if you have a policy request by emailing us at info@envisionblockchain.com or through our website, which is www.envisionblockchain.com. Thank you. Have a great day.